Yeah, and now we are live. So this is the Python test-driven development meetup. Last time was quite bad. It wasn't bad, it was worse than ever before. But today, I hope things will go smoothly. And I hope you guys enjoy. So I think we will start with an easy task. First, I will describe what test-driven development is. So test-driven development is where you get to write your test. You know what you want to write, as in you know what your code will be, and now you write the test so that it can guide you on how to write your code or your application, whatever you call it. Yeah, that thing. So we write tests and then we make them fail. No, they will fail obviously because we don't have the code, and using that test is what will guide us to write the correct thing. I hope the screen is clear. So I can see we have a visitor. Famous. Welcome. Yeah, so welcome, Famous. You are welcomed here. Okay, so we'll start by creating the file. The file we will be testing, we will be using for tests. The file where we'll write our tests. Okay, so maybe let's start with simple thing. So we will test for even or odd, where the code is supposed to return true or false. True or false, whether it's not true or false, even or odd. Yeah, so some people are saying it's not clear. Should get glasses. Okay, so we will create the file name. The file name should start with the word test. The word test is what will tell the PyTest, which is the library we'll use, or rather the module, to test our code. So by creating that, yeah, I think it's created. So we will first start by importing. So we normally import the libraries to use. We import so that you can use the libraries or the modules. I'm used to the word libraries, but module is the right word for Python. So we will import the modules so that you can be able to use them in our case. So first we will import the unit test. Unit test is used for testing, and that's what we'll use. And next we will import from the file, which we have not yet created, which maybe we will call it even or odd. So the file will be called even or odd.py, and we will have a class called even or I'm sorry, we're supposed to use is no. So we first import the files. So I have said importing is so that you can use them in our case, of which it's for testing. So you should note that we have not yet created the files, and that's our point. We don't have to have the files so that you can test. So after importing, we now create our class. This class is what will be used. So class is created with class. It will be used for writing our methods for testing. Yeah, Getty, can you please lock the screen too? Okay. So class test even or odd. So from this, we inherit from unit test dot test case. Here, we can maybe write a description for this. So this is our class, is the class testing. Our methods will be here. So maybe after the meetup, I can share with you this so that you can go test or maybe refer to it while training. It will be here. Okay. So this, we now create a method for instantiating our object, of which the object will be object from this class which you're creating. So we will create the function setup. Setup is used for instantiating the objects. We'll have self as an argument, and maybe let's pass for now. And next we have a method called tear up. Tear or tear, I don't know what the spelling is. So we'll have tear up. Oh my god, self. And we pass. So tear up is used for clearing up the data after running the test. So maybe your test is running on a database and it creates mockup. A mockup is a dummy, maybe a dummy account or a dummy something, a dummy object from the class. Maybe in our case, it would have been even or odd. So it will create a dummy object from this and use it to run the test. So to avoid it being saved in our database, we use tear up to tear it down. Sorry, it's not tear up. I've been confused by setup. It's tear down. It's in the unit test module. Yeah. So that's the purpose of our tear down. And I will show you how it runs sequentially so that you can know how it runs, how it's done. So our first test will be test. So while writing the methods, you have to start with the word test. So when unit test runs through the package, it will find the file named test. And after finding the file, inside, it will look for the class starting with the word test. And inside, these two are predefined in unit test. So, and to test for our code, it will look for the methods with test underscore, the name of what we want to test. So who else is not? Put your speaker when you speak. Okay, so maybe I should repeat. Unit tests will run through the directory. Maybe our directory is app, and inside app we have maybe it's a book app. We'll have the directory book and the directory test. So it will go through the list of directories inside our app. It will check for the one called test. Inside the test, it will look for the file called test. As long as the file starts with the word test, the class starts with the word test, and the method for testing our code starts with the word test. This one don't start the tear down and setup. Don't start with the word test because they're predefined in the unit test module. Is that clear now? Okay. So if you have any questions, you can be free to ask. So we will test if this I've chosen this one because it's simpler to understand, so that you can move faster and choose another one. So even or odd seems much more reasonable. So we'll pass and create another test. Is odd. Self. And that. So we will test for even cases and odd cases. This isn't as wide as you expect an app to be, so it's just even or odd. We will choose other tests to run after this one. So after this, we now create. I told you the function of this. Anyone who can give a brief explanation of what setup does. When you speak, you put your mic on so that everyone can hear. The room is quiet.
I think it sets up like it gives us, if it's an object, it is the object that we will use.
Anyone else?
Um, she's right. The setup method is used to set up. It's used to instantiate anything that you would want to use in your test. For example, creating an object, initializing the database if you'll be using one. Yeah. And any other thing that you would use in your class, in your test.
Anyone else? Okay, so let's call that one. So maybe I can repeat for those who haven't got. You're both right in your own ways. Yeah, so setup is used to create an instance of the class we are testing. So when importing in Python, we import the file name and the class name. So if we have many classes in the file, we will have maybe separating. We'll have to separate them with a comma. Oh, shit. Separate them with a comma. So maybe this one is prime or not. The prime, we have another class inside the file, even or odd, called something else. So we import them that way. So the setup is used to create instances of the object. You know, objects are created from classes. Yeah, so the setup method is used to create instances of the class in the subject, the specimen in our case. Yeah, so that's it. That's the work of the setup method. So maybe we can create, who can give us a name of an object, the name which will give our object randomly. Okay, so random it is. So we'll have random equals to, no, sorry. We have to self random equals to even or odd. That's how we create an instance. That's how we create an object from a class. Yeah.
Why do we need the self?
The self is to refer to the when we don't use self, the class will assume, not assume. It's like you are telling the class this. It's like assigning a variable from the class, not from this class. That's why we use this one. We will remove the word self so that you can see the error we get. Uko mbele mbele. Those forward. Okay, so tear down. Anyone? Evans. Tear down. Yeah. Mike.
More like a dummy instances, which will not be like they will be teared down. They will be deleted. More like it. They will not be saved in the file or in the database.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone agreeing to him? We have Getty and the rest are lost. Okay. So he's actually right. So since we don't have something to tear down, we don't save anything. We will just, this will show us that the tear down method has been run. We'll do this. Okay, so we have to test that. No, we have to test if for even cases in our code. Yeah, anyone on how we can go about it? Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, because on teardown, we are creating an instance of the class. Yeah, so just as I was asking, if teardown is the opposite of setup. Yeah, and I also think so because on setup, we are creating the instance of the object, and on teardown, we are doing away with it. Yeah. So test is even. So here, we refer to now the unit test. You remember we inherited unit test.test case. So this test case is used for test cases. So examples of test cases are maybe asserting equal, asserting not equal, asserting almost equal. Almost equal is used in arithmetic operations. Maybe on division, you have 0.001, and this one is 0.002. Maybe, yeah, almost equal is used in that case. And we also have assert not true, assert true, yeah, such stuff. So here we will assert, most of the ones will be used assert equal. And here inside the assert equal, we will call this one self.random and call it with a method which we have not yet described in the even. What is this, even or odd? Yeah, in the class even or odd. So we are referring to an object, to a method which we have not yet created. So self dot, maybe let's call it is even, and pass it 4. So it's 4 even. Yeah, so said we are not printing out true or false. We're not giving out a boolean. So the return value, we usually test for the return value. So our return value will be the string even or the string odd. So in our case, it's even. And we'll have that alone. Okay, so shift. And here, we will have testing for odd, and we will have our method called isOdd. So here, 5 odd. So at this point, remember when we started, said that we are testing so that you can fail, so that we use the test to, we use our test to write our code. It will be guiding us through what to write. So we can write this to run the Python unit test, and then the name of the file without the trailing.py extension. Yeah. Right now, we are supposed to fail, of which it will be an error, not a failure. It will be a failure, which is an error. Yeah, an error, which is a failure. Not a failure, not a failure, which is an error. An error, which is a failure. Why? Because but it's a failure, which is an error. Uh-huh. Uh. Yeah. It's wrong. Yeah.
A failure is, I expected you to be 12 years old, but you're telling me you're 18. An error is, I didn't even find your age, or I have no way to get even to your age. That's an error.
Yeah, thanks, Igor. Okay, so
And also, the error is thrown by the setup method.
the setup method.
Yeah.
Anyone
But
else with a clue?
no,
I,
I'm saying the error is thrown
by the setup will come from the setup line.
yeah.
Yeah, as for me, I'm saying it will come from the importation.
It will run. I'm saying that in your error, when you're running your tests.
Now,
No, not now. When you're running your test, whatever time it is you're running your test, when you get an assertion error, that is from the unit test. Yeah. But when you get an error, we said there's a failure
yeah.
and an error. So when you get an error, it's from the setup method. Like that is the work of that method.
So it's wrong to say that we can get an error from a test. Maybe test.
Yeah, we get failures.
But can we get an error there?
If
Apart from a failure?
Yeah, but if you've made a syntax error, that will be an error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you get an assertion error, that is a failure. The test is failure.
So we have, is this an error or a failure?
It's an error.
It's an error.
Syntax error.
So no one spoke. From this, import this. Not from this, from this. It doesn't even make sense.
The error is saying what?
From keyword. Let me go back. From even, from odd. From even or odd. So it doesn't make sense to have. We have someone chatting now. Okay, so let's fix that and go back to our test.
Crafting. There was a question even last time. Why we write tests?
So as I started earlier, tests are written to guide us on writing our code.
So in real life, how would you actually do that? Other than doing this, how do you do that in real life? Because these are the basics of our things, right?
Yeah. So in real life, test in real life. So in real life, we, let's say we are making a biro pen, right? See, that's what you expect, Sig. That's the question. Yeah, so
Or you can use an example. Even Facebook is real life Twitter. Okay, what I think is,
Oh yeah.
personally, I've done tests for, let's say, signing in a user. Okay? And on my test, I write a test that confirms that once the user is signed in, then there are some things that we need to have on the database. Confirm that whatever they need to have on the database. The other thing we test is that if I'm signed in as me, I cannot see your account. So we need a test for that. An advantage of that is that in case someone messes, another developer messes up something and grants me permission to delete your account, then the test will fail. Since I cannot delete your account, the test will fail because the test is saying that I should not be able to delete your account. If another developer changes the code that brings in a bug that allows me to delete your account, the test will fail and everyone else will say that this code that you brought in allows this other person to delete the other person's things. So from these basics, we will get to be able to do greater tests.
And also another example is like Instagram. On Instagram, when you boot up, you like. So when writing a test, you will write that maybe double tapping likes, and later on you decide when you double tap again, you want the developers decide that double tapping again should unlike or not do anything. It should retain the number of likes. Only unlike when you press the heart thing of corner. Okay, so when you write the test to double tap again and it likes again, it gives 2 likes instead of retaining the one. Then the test should fail and you should know you messed up the other code somewhere. So this will make you write better code and build better software. So that's why we write tests. So we fixed our from syntax error, this one. So let's run it again. So we have no module named even or odd. So the module was the file, which was supposed to be called even or odd. So we are using tests to guide us on writing our code. So we'll go step by step until we finish our code using the tests. So here we will create the file. Given what code. Right. So by doing that, we can run it again and we will not get this error, sure, because we have did. So the previous one was from no module named even or odd. Now it's cannot import name. So this is our class. Yeah. So and have we open the file and create this class. Tests are guiding us on writing this. So we do vim. So we write classes. Right? We write classes. Class keyword. And right object, but it's object. So we have a class. Okay. So when we run it again, we have errors. Just even on this. Just so that you can't get this one. It's blocking us from seeing the API. Let us put an end of line there. So test even or odd, we have an error, and it completed it completes teardown. The teardown function is called immediately factorizing. So we get an error here and it completes. And run the setup so that we can see. Let's print on setup so that we can see how. So we test by what we call the method. We run the setup. We get an error, a failure, or a pass, and then teardowns. So the data created here, that is discarded immediately. The test is run. So then we do the same setup. We get an error, a failure, a pass, and then teardown. So we have not rendered. We have not received files. So our errors are test even or odd object was converted to is odd rendered as odd.css. What's the video?
We create a method called even. That's what is given.
No, here is odd and it's even. It's the first error. So we want to solve these ones first. So don't forget to check this out.
Uniform from the start to the end.
Oh, so run this again. So set up so error is an error, not a failure. Just even or odd, like assume that it's even. So it's an error. Who knows what the error is coming from? What was the error? Yeah, so get it right. Yeah, surprisingly you're right. Even though you never thought you're right. Okay, so Simus are talking, but not talking. Just voices in the background. Okay, so we have to refer to this one. We created a class called object. So on calling the dot is even, we created from the object, from the class odd. So we have to refer to it since we created it as even. So that was an error, not a failure. So but run it again. The errors or failures. Error. Yeah. So our errors. Type. So what are we supposed to do? It wants arguments. So we're supposed to create arguments. To even. Yeah. So even or okay, so here we have to give it. Remember when calling our let me go back so that I can show you.
What?
Yeah.
What are the two arguments?
Self. Self is an argument.
Yes,
And
and the
in
other
our
one.
test, it has said in our test two are given
And
and
one.
we have one declared. So the one referring to is self. The two are on the test. Yeah. Let me go back so that I can show you. Let's see this change. Uh-huh. So in here, self is a default argument. We don't have to include it. So when you pass one argument, it assumes you have given the self and the for. Yeah. So we have to go back. We have to come back here and give a number. We're passing in numbers as arguments. Make this sensible. Print number. So we have given our arguments. We want to know. Yep. Error or failure? Huh? Yeah. And failures are indicated with an F. And errors are indicated with an E, capital. Yeah, uppercase. And a pass is indicated with a failure. So you will see two dots. Yeah, so PyTest has colors. PyTest is colorful. It's not as boring as this one. It has lines, colored lines passing through the screen. So to make it hivyo. So none is not equal to odd. So we have to make odd pass and even pass. So on even, some of you might be asking, why don't we just write why don't we just write the code and make it pass? But this is the process. Yeah, as in this is what GDB is. Yeah. Tests are guiding us what to do. Okay, so when we run 5 tests to pass. Yeah, but I don't say that. For once, yeah, I agree. The tests are passed, and the passings are indicated with periods. So our tests because we included one test at this big syllabus. This big board says pass. It's legit. So we must test further to make our tests. This is one of them. Okay. So we will test on which number? Random number. Change to 92. How can 92 come in your mind? Another random, not a big one. 1000. Okay, we have to. Yeah, we have moved. I want to move it to a big one. So that's okay. Fine. This one was so catchy. So my ears went for 6. Oh, I'm not as loud. It will work on your vocal cords. Okay, so we have to do this now. It is you said 7. Just to make it harder. Okay, and 1. So assert. Let us use assert noting. Yeah, we can say assert noting. Change the return value. So assert not equal to not. It asserts that the output is not equal to this one. So our output, yeah. 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 Let us do a static one. Okay, so assert equals 7. Should return. Take them. Yeah. And this one. What? 7. 0. The value expect is true. Is even. The string even. For even and odd. We expect the string even and the string odd. Right? Let me go here. We are testing this. When this one is run, it's right. It's what we expect the expected value, right? So this one is the output. Otherwise, it doesn't. right? Yeah. Returns explicitly even. Yeah. It will never fail. So we want to make it fail. So what to do? Yeah. Are we clear, Stacy? Can you see? Okay, we have to assert that when this will output even. So 9. Yeah. So 30 equal 14. 13 is even. It's not even. It's odd. Yeah. I need my charger. I need my charger. Simu simu inaanguka. Itavunja flow. Hatuna pesa ya cement. Okay. That equal even. You see what I was saying, Stacy? So this one, 9, should not return even. But assert not equal, but they were equal. Our return value on even or odd was even.
Yes, no, it's not bad.
We've said assert not equal, but it is equal. Assert that even is not equal to even. If the value was odd, it would have passed the test. Yeah, it's 9. It is not passing. The thing was assert not equal. We are asserting that the return value is not equal as this one. So the return value for our method is even. Okay, and we expect even, so it doesn't pass. So when we change anything, yeah. So assertion error. The assertion was equal, but it's equal. Anyone needs clarification? Nasema yes or no. Okay, who can try? Who can try? Yeah.
Will you go back to the function? Function odd and function.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't see the entire screen. You see our functions. Even function returns even. Odd function returns odd. It's not like our compiler knows 9 is odd or not.
Understand the real.
Any
Oh, yeah. Your
so
mind knows better.
so the compiler doesn't know that 9 is odd or even. So it's dealing with the return values. No, you have to import it from the math. No, it does not have it.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't have.
No, we can create it and put it so that we can create it. Don't be spies. Okay, so we have to change our code so that it can return. And we should not have the assertion. Am I making sense? What do you mean by kai given? We have to return such that 9 should return. It should not return even. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If we return odd, all the other ones will fail. Let us even try it. Yeah. Odd. Now we have a sat equal, basically. So we have yeah, sat equal like this. We are asserting equal. So the odd is not equal to even. So if we assert not equal, then we need even. I'm making sense. Okay, so yeah, so we return if in what case do we return even? If it is even. So how do we test for an even number? And don't tell me dot is even. Is your mic on?
You have to record that.
You say if the object given is given number, you return even. If it's odd, you return odd.
That was okay, so return even if how do we test as in arithmetically? Ebu, let me write what Stacy has just said. Return divide by percentage. If number if number divided by percentage. So we are supposed this is called the modular, Stacy. Ah, okay. Plus 2. Oh my god. Return even if number modulus 2 equals to 0. So we are checking if number, if the remainder, yeah, if the remainder is equal to 0, then it's an even number. Since a number divided by 2 with no remainder is an even number. So else, the modulus, that's what I've said. It checks for the remainder. Yeah. So modulus returns the remainder of a number. Bana. I'm famous. On groups, not on, yeah. Yeah, main groups. Oh, sorry. Submit on this. Oh, yeah. I'm confused. So return even if this, else return none. Or we can just, since we have not tested for this, will it give an error? Why? Why? I'm not expanding so that you can see this side. Invalid number. Ah. Okay, so an if statement in our case, we must have an else. If we, what am I doing? In our case, in our Python's case, I'm speaking on behalf of the Python community. It's odd. I just wanted to have 2 tests. It's fun. And still do that. Yeah, but reverse. Si ni fun kuandika code mingi mingi. So assert equal. This is this test right? Assert equal is even 13 should return even. Is it right? Thank you. Tessie. Meskia. So this one. Oh, we had an error. No, we had a failure due to our error. Which method? It's at assert equal, not assert not equal. So we should assert that 13, since we have a return value of odd, if the value is not even, it should give us no. We are asserting equal. That when this method is called is even 13 should return even. The code was saying that when we call is even with argument 13, it should return even. The return value should be even. Am I clear or just okay? Oh, okay. Have we checked for? Yeah, assert equal. Why do we have so many? So 7, we also have to change. Let us just do this. Odd. And here we can have a not equal. Yeah. So a period indicates a pass, right? Yeah, so we have run 2 tests and we are okay. So this test, is it? This one is passing because even 18 in our code explicitly returns the method is odd, returns odd. Yeah, that's why we have a pass on the test. Yeah. Yeah, but it's 18 odd. Yeah, so what do we expect? This is the code ren. So our return value on this call is compared to this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, we return odd. Hey, hey. Okay, so we have here even. Yeah, I think that's. So we have a failure. Odd is not equal to even. This is due to our method. Which method? is odd. Yeah. So this one explicitly returns odd. So we have to return odd only if else. Oh, not equals one. Not equal, but equals one is also right. Let us just go with equals one so that you can feel good. But it's also right. Who suggested this? Yeah, it's also right. Since you're insisting, am I okay? Are we on the same? Tuko cloud same. Mhm. Yeah. So let's, but we can do it as she's saying. Itoi sauti, fanya kwa nguvu. Yeah, so Python name that we have our tests passing. Yeah. So maybe I can go to okay. We can do another one region. Sindio? 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 Eh? Ni 524. It's already reading. Yeah. So I'm going. Yeah, you're wise. CD is 1, 2, 3, 4. Just choose a random number. 3. So this one was testing for visibility. Visibility. I'm not that. Visible visibility. No, visibility. Not visibility. Evan, stop confusing people. Yeah, so we import unit test. So I created the code. I typed the, what do you call it? The code we are testing now. So as in the visibility code dot visibility.py came. Oh my god. Okay, so it is visibility. Hey, forgive me. Hey, I can't jitetea. Okay, so the visibility. The visibility. So this this is the file. This is the file, and this is the class name. So we set up, this is the object name. We create it with this class. setup. This was to show me that setup has run, tear down has run. And then your sat equal that. I should just so we are asserting equal that divisible is divisible by 2. 4 is true. This is false because it's not divisible by 2. 17. And then by 3, this. False, false, true, true. So after writing it, we go to that one. And yeah, so we return false if test modulus 3 equals to. If test modulus 3, what does this do? Yeah, it checks if divisible by 3. I'm asking test is a variable. Test modulus 3 equals to 0. And maybe in our case, we had test as the line 12. What will it return? Return the return value, if I call it that way. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. As in hiyo ndo swali nimeuliza na ngoja majibu zao ndo nijibu. Alikuwa na hiyo swali yenye nimeuliza. If test modulus 3 else true. Or here like that. And hizi macho zote hazijaona hiyo eh? Ukitest divisibility by 2, you can get a 1 or a 2 or a 0.
Line 6.
Yeah.
Return false if test modulus 3 equals to 0, meaning the number is divisible by 3, right?
Yeah.
So we are returning false if the number is
not equal.
no.
If test modulus 3 is not equal to 0,
It's supposed to be false.
that means it's false.
Yeah. But we are returning true. We are returning false if
It's not equal to 3. It's not equal to
it's not okay.
No, I think Malcolm's code is just
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So this was it. I was asking this if I had my return value as insert as that, will the code be okay? The logic, as you call it. what will be the return value if my test is 15? If the argument passed is 15? What, as in okay, what if it's 17? It will return false. Why? The default.
I'm asking for an explanation.
Truthy and falsely thing.
Explain. We don't know what truth and false is.
Um,
Is your mic on? Is your mic on? Is your mic on? See, you put it on. Am I? Yeah, and think as you talk. Talk as you think. So the return value. Anyone else? What is the return value of this? If the variable in test is 17. Is this line legit? It right? Will it draw a syntax error? No. You? Yeah. Just us.
It will,
Yeah.
it will return the modulus.
The
Modulus.
The
the
value
value.
Yeah.
2.
Well, let's-
I think it will.
and then it will not work. It will not- By that I mean, supposed to return only if the condition is met.
Only if it's met.
If it's not, it will not.
So what will it return? What that return that you say?
Actually, there's no condition here.
There's no condition here, but there is something. Tumefika wapi? What's the answer?
to return false.
What's this?
It will return whatever it
Is your mic on?
Yeah, so the guesses. What is the magic?
Selfish apples.
Let's run it. We have known any. Such an error true equals to false.
You see?
I see what?
So you
It will return.
true is not equal to return
Yeah.
to false.
So I want to do what we are doing. Value equals to 17 was our test. Modulus 3 equals to 0. So value. So you are right. when you return a condition, this was a condition, 17 plus 6. So if you return that one, it will return a book. So it's either true or false. You also say true. You also say false. Yeah. You're right. One of yeah. What is this? So when we test for infinity by 2, divisible by 3, false. This is true. Yeah, true, true, false. Which code is wrong?
I think it is the definition.
The code itself.
Yes.
So the test is failing, you have to change the code.
Yes.
This returns true. But this returns false. Now the two tests must. So the problem was here. Here, it was test minus 3 multiples. So the return value is false. If the condition was not met, then it was true. So that's why it was failing. Well done.
What did you change? Sorry, I wasn't.
You should be attentive. This one. This not. You see this the exclamation. Yeah, this one. So very good. That was it. Then we save it and run it. Process. Happy. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? I mean anything in Python, anything.
Yeah, so anything, I saw you using dash M. It's not the general code.
Yeah, that's what that is. So yeah, let's do that. Thanks for asking. That's what it's supposed to come. Any other question? General question?
How is Python compared to HTML and CSS and Java?
Oh, okay. Python is an integrated language. It's a scripting language. Unlike HTML is the markup language. Python is interpreted, Java is compiled.
Python is interpreted beginning in that. Yeah,
Marco, okay. No, take
Okay, so I was giving comparisons to the voices in Yametaga. She mentioned HTML, Java, that's what I was giving. Comparison.
The comparisons are too official.
yeah,
Oh, they're too official.
yes.
They should give like an official, unofficial, like a freestyle one.
If you don't understand, let's say you don't understand.
Okay, Python. Python, as I say, is an interpreted language. Mimi hakuelewi hapo.
Explain to her what you don't do that you not ask.
Okay. Let me explain it. By interpreted, I mean the code runs line by line. If you define a variable before, if you reference a variable before assigning it, itakupatia error. Because I didn't in the code. So that's what I mean by interpreted. And like compiled, it takes the bundle.
Umelewa?
Yeah, we actually die computer studies.
Oh,
What is the importance of being Python?
Python is wide. You can use it in data science, you can use it in gaming, you can use it in web development, you can use it in making bots. It's a scripting language.
See the handles you can do.
Like data science.
I don't know what it is. I saw the other day, like, you can also do the handles. So
What
much.
of data science?
CG is of you, so like,
As in, I know it doesn't do that. That's what I'm telling you.
Python is really like a science, it's the inventor of the mathematician. So that's common. And we make it very well. But that data science field is
Python is simple.
the best field of data science.
Python is simple. It's beginner friendly for the beginners.
Is it simpler than JavaScript?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think everyone here can JavaScript is easy. I don't know the deal. We have JavaScript. So the whole deal. So, but I think, to me, let me speak for myself. I think Python is easy. It's the easiest, followed by Ruby. Ruby is like English.
Between math and English.
I did follow the you.
Between math and English.
Yeah, so Python is used to build big things like YouTube is built on Python. We have
Instagram. Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram,
Pinterest.
Pinterest. Lense. My site is Python. Yeah, so that's all. Any other question? General, yeah.
Hey, we brand anymore.
Yeah, so it looks like listening to a legend. Nijitia sana. Kama iko. You know, when we want to maybe teach Python to students, high school or primary students, coding, we will choose an easy language, a beginner-friendly language. If we are not choosing a math language, a programming language, we will look for such. So, comparison is necessary.
Something else, not you go get 2 years old. You don't teach me. Any concern of that.
Yeah, I think you should choose them according to your needs.
Exactly.
So tell us your name before we end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not everyone knows you.
Ivy.
Ivy is the name.
Ivy, what do you want us to discuss in the next video?
Anything.
Kuongelesha vizuri kwa
What do you want to be? Chochote.
Is Polymer connected to Python in any way?
What is Polymer?
A JavaScript framework. That's what Organizer is telling me when they do YouTube.
What are the content from Google?
My head, you couldn't tell me earlier.
I'm going to farm.
Yeah. Ivy has left us. What do you want to discuss in the next meetup? Tuanzie objects. Kenye mnataka ama kukumbushwa.
I'm learning Python currently. So I wanted to understand the clearly library details.
Good.
Python libraries.
Oh, labels.
Python libraries. Okay. And Stacy.
So anything yeah. Like that's the total.
Get
Variables, objects, dictionaries. These are the things that revolve around.
data types.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we have data types. Single value.
Yeah.
What's it?
Oh. For discussion next on Python. Can you do anything with Flask or Java?
Anything. Okay.
So when next, I will come back that you similar detail money.
Tumesema
Framework. Micro.
nini? By the way, we have a hackathon. Hackathon next week. Zato.
Wait, what amazing things?
Hackathon. You can't miss that.
What amazing?
Hackathon.
You say student when I just like, I mean,
Yeah, what do you want to cover? Justice. Okay. Yeah,
Hiyo ya data types.
bullet libraries. So we have libraries. Two for libraries. So when you're saying
You have to say something.
you have to choose. So we are
But for data types, like something more specific. Tuseme ni kama dictionaries ama list
we can do all of them.
from
basics.
We have there are some of them like integers and string.
no, we know what we want.
It was about objects. Like, if you create an object, you have that type. Like, things around objects. How to create a new object.
How to do
How to send methods. Which kind of not particularly that.
okay. What's good for libraries? That's not enough. Class Django.
What is that?
Web frameworks. They are web frameworks.
Okay, maybe.
Okay.
Sijui nini.
Data types.
Three.
Okay, we have three here.
I think
We had
we
one,
want.
which was Stacy, and we had two. So we start with this one.
Yes.
Karen, niambie. And then, shut up.
Okay.
Thanks, Gigi. And then we go to this, and then this one. Maybe we may change our minds. When we see.
No, but the other week, Abraham present
Oh, Abram, which?
data visualization.
Okay. That's interesting. We have data visualization next week. Not confirmed, but that's the plan.
We are
The
hoping.
other week,
Yeah.
Not next week. Next
Next
week.
week we have this.
Yeah.
For me, I wanted CLI log in a user on the CLI. We log them in. They comment. We log out.
We can add it on the agenda.
Huh?
We can add it
Yeah.
after data visualization.
Okay. So we will decide by then.
But I haven't really understood the data types. What will you be discussing? Python objects.
Pattern objects, you can that types, lists, what creating data types.
So we'll do strings, lists, dictionaries,
Creating.
or so not like going through all the methods.
We will do the this.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much. You listened.
No, not really, but hatuwezi kupiga.
And I was a
But
great
itakuwa-
contributor.
Yeah. Stacy. And thanks to Okoth, thanks to Gati, thanks to Justus, thanks to Lucy for organizing, and thanks to Paulette. Paulette, umepotea sana, but leo umekuja. Okay, so. Okay, hata Evans umepotea. Umesikia vizuri? Thank you. Yeah. Tumeona. Okay, so